Well, good morning. Doesn't it look like when I took the picture of myself just now, you know how you have to do that to go live, put a thumbnail with it, and it took a picture, and this is the picture it took, and it just looked like a tiger. I just felt it was a tiger. So, I wanted to tell you, I think that people want to know actually, how I lost 70 pounds easily. Now, it didn't come off all at once, which is the wrong way to lose it anyway. When weight comes off, it has to come off slowly. So you can't be impatient about it. I have a wrinkle there I didn't know about. Oh well, always surprises. Yes, this aging is full of surprises. But if I don't have to look at it, it's just as well as it isn't there. You see, I don't care if you look at it. I just don't want to look at it. Okay, how I lost 70 pounds. I'm going to try and stay focused. First, 2 years ago, anyway, I took yoga. They had a free class at the local clinic. Everything at the local clinic is free because everybody out here, there's a very low, the amount of money that people made out here in these woods is very low. And so it's a free clinic where it's all covered by OPIP too, but why am I getting sidetracked? So they had free yoga. So I went. It was 13 classes. And for the first time in 30 years, 40 years, whatever, maybe I'm not true. But anyway, for the first time in a long time, I felt my body again. I felt what it was like to be in my body. I felt, you know, what happens when I move this? Where am I feeling from this? Oh, look, I feel it in my neck and down across my back. I put it down here, and now I feel it in my hips. Anyway, so it was a very interesting yoga class. She said to, you know, close your eyes and just feel your breathing. Whatever. Okay, we're not going to have a yoga class, Nancy. We're going to stay on track. So, you see, nobody's watching, and there's no thumbs up. Therefore, and I've been talking for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. This happened the other day, and I talked for about, you were just with us for about an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. And then nobody was with us. There was always a zero. And so after all that time, none of it existed. I couldn't upload it. I couldn't, it was gone. And it was a really good conversation that was going on. Anyway, so this has a zero, which maybe means nothing because people just have not gotten around to checking it. What do you expect, Nancy? 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and you expect the whole world to know that you exist. Okay. I took yoga. And then when yoga was done, now I changed nothing else. After yoga was done, I started feeling really tight and everything hurt again. And now at this time, I had just had my second hip surgery. And so I really got into this yoga. And then I decided that since all I was eating, oh look, one person is here. Hello, one person. Now that lets me know at least that it's not broken. Okay. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe and click the notification bell. Am I supposed to say that? It's kind of an odd thing to say. Where's my pocket? I need this pocket so I can put my hand in it. Okay. I'm in my tent. Did you know that? This is my tent. And out there is the great big world. I love it here. Okay, we're staying on topic. Now, how I lost 70 pounds easily. First, I took yoga. And then I realized that all I was eating was chocolate, and actually it was chocolate chip cookies. I was living on chocolate chip cookies, mostly, and cheesies. And just plain chocolate. I would just buy semi-sweet chocolate, thinking, oh, well, it's only semi-sweet. I look very pale. Maybe it's because I'm sick. Anyway, so I'm not sure if it was after that first yoga or the next year, but it was a long time. Oh no, I didn't wait a year. I took yoga in the fall, and then I took it again in the spring. I think that's the way it worked. I got into 3 classes. I almost didn't get into one, but anyway, I got into 3 of them, and so I gave up cookies. That's what it was, yes, because at that time I remember standing up in class and saying, look what I can wear. So I gave up chocolate chip cookies and cheesies. So it was sugar, and chocolate. And baking for the most part, but I would go to Tim Hortons and get a muffin, and that was not against my rules. I didn't want my rules to be too hard. And so, oh look, my color is better when I go like that. And it's really bad like that. Ah, now we understand. I get sick, and then I get well, and then I get sick, and then I get well. Isn't that fun? Okay, so I gave up those things, and slowly the weight came off a little bit. I didn't have a scale. I would go to my doctor's office, and actually this was between my hip surgeries that I gave that up, because no, it wasn't. Maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, so at my second hip surgery, I weighed 216. I started out at 237, but that was before all this. So I'd been trying to lose weight for a long time, and now and then I would stop at my doctor's office and see if I'd lost any, and I may have lost a pound or 2, and but I was only by trying to not eat quite so much. I find I eat the most after dinner, in the evening. That's when I really eat a lot. So I have to have a rule that I can't eat at that time of day. And so therefore, I won't be able to sit and just eat. Okay, so then I went to this pain doctor. And he said, and I was still trying to not eat junk food at that point, and trying not to eat as much. I was also trying to eliminate things that gave me pain. There was so much pain. It was so much pain. And I'd given up dairy products. And now and then I would do it anyway. I would eat some cheese or something, and then I'd get sick. I'd get a cold. And the cold would last forever. And I'd get bronchitis. And then I'd give up dairy again. Well, I only would have had 1 or 2 bites. I never really got into it because it would make me hurt so much. Milk was the worst. Milk. If I drink milk, oh, I can't even imagine drinking milk. It used to give me roaming pain. Pain that hurt so bad in my arm, and then all of a sudden that arm would be fine, and it was my other hand. It was so painful. And I would hurt all over like I had the flu, and I would get in bed and I'd curl up in a blanket. That's if I drank milk. And when I grew up, my mother always made me drink 3 cups of milk a day. Nancy, you must drink your milk. Look, I don't want my milk. Nancy, drink your milk. You get back here, you didn't drink your milk yet. It was really important to my mother. Meanwhile, my mother had a box of Kleenex beside every chair in the house. Every area had boxes of Kleenex within reach. And that's because of the milk. And so I had lots of ear problems when I was little. I got tubes in my ears. I was always having earaches, and I got my tonsils out when I was 5, but I think that was just the thing they did back then. I don't know if they do it anywhere else still, but they don't do it in Canada. You really have to have bad tonsils if they take them out. Okay, I digress. 9 minutes, I'm pretty well staying on track. Okay, so I weighed 216 pounds by the time You know, and all I had done was just try and get a little more exercise, try and walk a bit. But I was not really losing weight. And then my doctor said, he was giving me these shots all over my back and my neck and my jaw and my hips and the whole back, the whole stem of you, you know. Anyway, and there's like 16 needles. And they hurt so much. And it was supposed to have some numbing agent in it, like lidocaine or I don't know what it was, but some agent. And nothing. Every time I went, I was getting better with my pain though, because I was trying so hard to eliminate things that made me hurt, and sugar really made me hurt. So that was a good thing I'd given up sugar. Oh, but I went back on sugar. That's right. I went back on everything. No, I didn't have, might have had chocolate chip cookies too. I don't know. But I was up and down over the course of many years. And then my doctor said, it's not working because you have inflammation in your body. How about your teeth? Well, I had all my teeth except 8 removed. Those are my bottom 8 teeth, you see? I got rid of the rest. There are 3 kinds of squirrels out here. There's a gray squirrel being chased by a red squirrel. Well, there's another red squirrel, and then there's this red squirrel. I think this is the mother, and those are 2 of the babies. Today I saw a black squirrel with a white tail. I've never seen that squirrel before. Maybe he'll come and live here now, too. We have 7 raccoons and 4 cats living under the deck. And who knows what other kinds of little tinier creatures and whatever. Okay, I digress. I'm sorry. So, how I lost 70 pounds. The doctor told me that the inflammation was keeping this stuff from working. And so he wanted to know about my teeth and if I had any fillings in them. And then I've got these 2 teeth in the front, which are kind of rotten. But he put some coating over them. I mean, they have root canals, but they're black now. I can't imagine having black teeth. What happened to me? I was so pretty. Anyway. In the next life, they won't be black. They'll be perfect. Oh, yes. So he said it was he said, try going gluten-free. And I didn't really understand that. He says that gluten attacks the body and creates inflammation. And so I went home and I got the book Wheat Belly. And now I'm a pretty intelligent person, you know. I don't like university. Courses are kind of hard. But anyway, it was just the grading that was difficult. I learned a lot. Anyway, so here's the black squirrel coming back again now. He's there. Oh, and look, there's another black squirrel there. Between these 3 trees. 2 black squirrels. I wonder if one of them has the white tip on his tail. Hello. Hello, black squirrel. What is your name? Blackie. Come on up. It's okay. There's lots of food. Do you want me to get some more for you? I mean, as if this isn't enough. The raccoon was out here last night, and he worked so hard trying to clean this place up. He ate all of the cat food, which was in there. I put it in here figuring that if it rained, it wouldn't get the cat food wet. That's the first time I'm feeding these cats. These cats just appeared, and I guess they've been there for a long time, but now I think that when it's so cold, they might need some help. I would not want to find a dead cat under my deck and know that the reason that it was dead was because I had not bothered to feed the poor animal. That would be terrible. Even though I really don't care for cats much. But they're really nice to watch. They're so soft looking and furry. These are really puffed out because they live outside. In Canada, mind you. But they come out at night, and so I dump a bit of food down in one of those holes. Those holes go under the deck. Oh, he just came out of one of those holes. So, okay, I digress. How I lost 70 pounds easily. Okay, so he told me to go off gluten. And he gave me a paper. It gave me a he gave me some pages of instructions. And the first thing was to go through everything I had in my kitchen, and if it had wheat in it, to give it away. So, or to put it in a certain place, right? And so there were things that I didn't know had wheat, like soy sauce. Now, there's a little trick about wheat, which is very well kept secret, is that now that they have changed the wheat so much, they mutated it by crossing it with weeds and poisonous things, and they did so many things to it, and the embryos wouldn't survive, and so they would do embryo rescue with different kinds of strong chemicals. Anyway, and then they would create, so the wheat that we have now is not what God gave us. Not a chance. It's like what the Nazis did to people is what the people did to wheat. So, and now, because of that new change, there's this thing in wheat that really makes you want more. And it's in every grain. Well, no, it's really in wheat. Wheat has got the thing that makes you want to eat more. And so, guess what? Those big 5 food giants, those from whom all of our food is filtered. Anyway, guess what they do? Well, they put a little wheat, little flour in the nuts, a little flour in everything, in the potato chips, in the cheesies, so you haven't got a chance. If you're eating bought-in food, you're eating a lot of wheat. And if you packaged food, I mean, once you get rid of the wheat and get that thing out of your body that's making you crave. See, that only started in the 70s. You see? And so that's when people got huge. And people weren't huge back then. They were just regular. But they did this. It's the evil designs of conspiring men in the last days. Wow, he's a big one. That's a gray squirrel. Did he go away? Sorry, he's gone. So they put this wheat in everything. It's in the soy sauce. It's in your... But now they have to say on the back of the packages in Canada, if it has wheat, contains wheat, or may contain wheat. So if you to get rid of all this inflammation in the body, I had to get rid of all the wheat. And it turns out that other grains also have a bit of gluten. Anyway, but wheat is the big scoundrel. Wheat is no longer our perfect wheat that God gave us, planted on the earth. Okay, so he gave me this form. I took everything in my house that had wheat in it that I could. My husband eats wheat, so, I took it all and I got rid of it. I went to the grocery store immediately and I restocked with everything that did not have wheat in it. So there's gluten-free stuff at the store. And although it's really not any good for you, it won't hurt you, but it's not really healthy. So what it contains is cornstarch, rice flour, and it's another starch, tapioca starch. Sometimes no rice flour, just tapioca starch and cornstarch and potato starch. Now, can you imagine eating those things? Can you imagine? Anyway, so in order to get off wheat, you really have to do something drastic like that. You have to go get something that you can eat when you still have those cravings from the wheat that's in your body. You need to have all the gluten-free baking on hand that you can, because you don't want to go back to eating wheat, right? You want to be able to get it out of your system, to kick it out. Look at that. It's going to be sunny today. Look at that. I could see sunlight against the hillside. So once I did that, I'm also vegan, just, because my husband's vegan, and I don't know, I never really cared for eating meat. Most meat made me hurt. Well, at least beef does. Beef and tomatoes and rice would make me hurt. Rice would do in my joints. Anyway, so I got rid of all those things. And you say, what in the world is there to eat? Aha, right. That was a big problem. So I bought everything edible in the store that did not have gluten in it. Every kind of fruit, every kind of vegetables that I like. I couldn't eat dairy, but I could eat frozen fruit, like frozen blueberries and frozen mangoes. I eat frozen fruit by the bowlful. I go through a lot of frozen blueberries. Blueberries are also a superfood, which is really good for you. There's a lot of these little squirrels out here. Of course, their house is up there. You see that big ball in the tree? He's heading up that way. Nope, now he's coming down. Excuse me. So, as I gave up gluten, suddenly the weight just started to come off. I wasn't hungry anymore. I could eat and then be done with eating. Unbelievable. How is that possible? I could never be done with eating. If I ate one cookie, I had to eat the whole entire package. Or the cheesies, or the whatever. You know, I used to go to OA, Overeaters Anonymous, years ago. But, hey, good morning, 10 people. Only one thumbs up. Now, what's going on here? Anyway, so I would go to those OA meetings, which people there would say that they gave up sugar and wheat, sugar and flour. And I always thought, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. But I'll go for the psychological stuff, you know, to help me cope with other things. And I would, before I leave the house, I'd take a stack of cookies. I made homemade cookies because, you know, you couldn't buy as many cookies. You guys are so obedient. Look at that. 3 thumbs up. The only time I've had people obey me is when I stand in front in church and I'm the chorister, you know, in charge of keeping the time of the music so people know where they are and when to start. Anyway, and so sometimes I raise my arms, you know. Let's all stand. And everybody stands up. It was the most amazing thing the first time that happened. I thought, nobody ever obeys me like this. That's pretty phenomenal. Okay, back to my lesson. And so, I have been learning new things since I have gotten the wheat out of my diet. Now and then, something happens, and I get something, I eat something that had wheat on it, and then I get lots of pain. But my pain, so much of my pain is gone that no longer do I need a walker. Look at this gray squirrel. We don't have too many gray squirrels. We always have black squirrels. Oh, and there's a black squirrel. And there's a red squirrel. All living in harmony on the hill. The gray squirrel keeps going over to the side when the other ones come and leaving. I think they've got this territory thing worked out. Okay, so back to my story. Sorry. Okay, so I went to some Indian grocery stores, Asian grocery stores. They have so many things in them, and so many things that I'm not used to, right? So many, those are such distinct lines, aren't they? They're really, really distinct there. There, that's better. Just have to hold it up like this and then I look like a teenager. I'm 63, getting younger every day. I'm living in the 60s. I love it. The 60s are a great time. Okay, so I eat a lot of, I guess that's the best way to tell you is what I do. So I went in these grocery stores and they had so many different kinds of lentils. Now it helps that my daughter-in-law is from Saudi Arabia. She's born and raised in Saudi Arabia, and she's from Pakistani descent. So her mother would use red lentils and other things. And so she does. And I have been over at her house. I was there one day and she had red lentil curry. It was amazing. It was so good. It had no flour in it. I could eat it. It had no milk in it. Yay! And so I started being interested in lentils. And then I discovered there's different kinds of beans. There's pigeon peas and chana dal, and which is chickpea, I think. But they're not the big chickpeas. There's these small split chickpeas. And then there's urad dal, which is mung beans. Anyway, and I started experimenting. Okay, well, you add twice as much water or equal water, and you bring it to a boil and let it sit for 15 minutes, and then it's done. Oh, that was easy enough. So I could do quinoa, and I found out that millet is quite nice. It's just like, it's a nice rice substitute, only it has a really nice flavor. Anyway, so I found out later that you cannot have copious amounts of millet. So if you're gluten-free, do not just turn to millet then and have everything millet, because it will mess up your thyroid. But you can have normal amounts. You can have, once a week or twice a week or something. But you can't start eating millet bread and millet rice substitute and, blah, blah, blah. You can eat a bit of it. I'm not sure what the dividing line is. Check out the studies. See what the studies show. Okay, so now I figured out I really had to know what I was doing. Otherwise I was going to fail. And I didn't want to go back to wheat. And so, as I was losing weight, I was losing about maybe a pound a week, which would be terribly, terribly hard on the patients. Except that I was also going to physiotherapy for my knees. And so I was doing all these, you lay on your back and you bend your knees and you lift your butt. I was doing those. And then where you lift your leg up even with your knee, you bend one knee, lift the other one up even with it. Go very slowly and hold it, and then very slowly down, and then relax. And taking a rolling pin and rolling it on the 4 sides of your leg, the 4 corners of your leg, above your knee. So you're not on the very top of your leg, you're over on both sides, both sides of the top, and then down on the side, down below. Anyway, so and so all that was helping my knees to recover. And as my knees recovered, I could walk. I couldn't believe it because I have damage in my knees. I've tried cortisone shots in my knees and many things. So, sorry if that was gross. Don't forget to thumbs up. And hello, everybody. There's 8 people there. I'm trying to get this story out. Trying to do a good job with it. So then I found out that I could use many different kinds of spices. I learned a few years ago, we used to go to the temple and bring home samosas from the local Indian food store in Brampton. They were like 20 cents a samosa, huge thing, you know, like that big was a samosa. Hey, red squirrel. That one's a baby. I think this is last year's baby and that's the mother. You know, we already have these 7 raccoons under the porch, and raccoons really like to live together. They really like to, that's why diseases pass so quickly through the raccoon population. That's why they have to, whoa, the red squirrel is after the black squirrel. Oh, go hide, go hide. I would like to be able to see a slow motion of a raccoon running. I guess I could make a video like that. I could do a slow-mo. Whoa, look at them go. They're after each other. Oh, he's gone now. Okay. How I lost weight. Okay, so I would have popcorn with a little bit of salt on it, and I would cook it in olive oil. And that didn't have wheat, and so therefore I could eat tons of that as I was getting off of wheat. And what I do is you melt a few tablespoons of coconut oil in the bottom of a pot. I use my old pressure cooker. And you use medium heat. You let that, you're going to have enough of that to just cover the bottom. And you put in 4 things of popcorn, 4 kernels. And when they pop, then you add like a half a cup. And some popcorn pops to be a lot of popcorn, and some popcorn pops to just be a little bit. And that's because of the temperature, of the moisture level of the popcorn. But I don't know how to fix it, so they always pop big. No idea. Anyway, so I ate a lot of popcorn. And do you know that you got to check the salt. There could be sugar in the salt. Now, of course, I stayed off sugar because I could see that sugar was giving me inflammation. And the whole purpose of this journey was to get away from the pain. I look a lot better when I smile. Hello. So now I make lots of lentils with cumin and coriander, and I realized when we bought those samosas, see that they mixed cumin, coriander, and red pepper. And so I mixed up a little jar of that, and I started using it on things, potatoes, whatever. And my hair's white up there and blonde down here. Very important to know. And so I could also make hummus. Hummus is chickpeas. You can buy them, chickpeas, and then you put them in a blender with a tablespoonful of, or teaspoonful if you don't like the flavor so much, of tahini. Tahini is ground up sesame seeds. And so I make hummus, and then I had some hummus with red peppers on it one day, and it was really good. So then I decided I would try that. And so then I took hummus, and I cut up red peppers in it, and I put in some olives, and I put in some tomatoes, little round cherry tomatoes, and some frozen avocado. I know these all have no wheat. I had no idea that olives were such an interesting food. Olives they will flavor the entire dish, just a little bit of olives, and it tastes so nice. I had no idea olives tasted good. I mean, olives are a thing that's in a little thing, in the little dish on the table that you're supposed to use the toothpick to take one or two out, right? That's what olives were. Well, not this. This is amazing. You add olives to anything, and it's amazing. So I figured that the people in the rest of the world, they eat differently than we do, and so they like their food. So maybe I could find foods that I liked. And so I've been experimenting with these different kinds of spices. The last time I went to the store, the Spices, this is the place in Ottawa, they had these big packages of spices that I never heard of. I had no idea what they were or what they were used for. And a man that was there, I said, "What is this?" And he said, "Oh, that's very good." His English was very poor. He said, "Oh, yes, that's very good." And I said, "Well, what do you cook it with?" And he says, "Well," and then I couldn't understand what he told me after that. But the name of different dishes, I guess. So I bought it, and I have yet to open the package, but I'm going to open it and taste it. Step one. I'm going to look it up on YouTube, on Google, on whatever it's called. I'm going to I always like looking out there. These are, look at how you've got these different layers. There's the white pond, the red alders, the green cedars, and then the distant hillside. And the green cedars, between the green cedars and the distant hillside of spruce, there is light. But because it's above freezing today, I think it's 1 degree above freezing or something, all the snow is trying to melt, which is giving off all that steam. But I digress. So I'm going to continue to learn about different spices and try different combinations of foods you would never think of combining together. I've started going in the olive and pickle aisle, but I just found out that white vinegar is made from wheat. So you can get things in oil, I guess. Anyway, and then I just started, I didn't feel hungry as much. And so I felt like I was getting old and I only really wanted a small bowl. And so I would just have small bowls of things. And so my stomach has shrunk, and so now I'm imagine, I went down from, I was always 220 before I went way up to 237. And then I have been coming down ever since. I remember passing 200 and being thrilled. And then down to 190 and being thrilled. And 180 and being ecstatic. And 170. And this morning I was 159.8. That's because I was sick yesterday and I haven't eaten or drunk for 24 hours or something. 150. I'm in the 50s. I mean, I think I only ever got down to 155. I think that's my base weight, is 155. I think I was supposed to be 145, but I don't know. We'll just see what happens. But somehow I can't be extra large, can't be the weight I'm supposed to be. And I can fit into a large now. Larges look pretty good. And you know what else? I have no hips. I was thinking it's because I gave up the gluten, but now I'm thinking maybe it's because my hips have descended. There's this, what used to be the great tractor tire. It's not very big anymore. It's now a bicycle tire, but it sort of hangs. And maybe that's what's keeping my hips flat. It really is cool to have flat hips. I never had flat hips. Anyway, so there we have it. That's how I lost 70 pounds. I gave up sugar. I got off wheat. And chocolate, sugar, chocolate, and wheat. And I tried to get rid of the pain. And if you're eating the wrong kinds of foods, you can't lose weight. I remember hearing that I was eating milk and milk products, and I just could not lose weight. And And I got rid of that, you know. But then, of course, I've had different kinds of pills, antidepressants, different things like that. I have a hard time with the lack of sunlight in the winter. I don't have a problem with it now, but I did. Look at how much snow melted yesterday. All this stuff is now showing. It was on the snow. I tried to scrape it off this morning, but it's all frozen on. I'll get it on the return trip. Get it on the flip side. Okay, I guess I should stop because this is not about my weight loss anymore, is it? It's not. It'sn't. So who are you 8 people? Are you my friends? Do I already know you? Are you new friends that I haven't met yet? It's very interesting that I look at my channel and I have 19,000 videos. Can you imagine that? And 14,500 subscribers. And yet I'm very thrilled if 8 people are watching this and talking to me. I think that's just great. I don't need to have huge amounts of people to be my friends. Hello. Were you thinking of jumping this way? This is Sammy. Hi, Sammy. I have not fed them this morning. The raccoon was here all night. He kept turning on the light outside. All righty, well, do you have any questions about how I lost weight? And there's a real correlation between how much energy you have and what you eat. And since my knees are good now, this is a real big deal of it. Since my knees are good, I can now walk for a long time. I can hike up and down hills. And of course I wrenched my back recently, so now I'm not in such good shape. In fact, I needed my walker the other day. That was rough. But anyway, I think it had to do with what I had eaten. I think I had eaten something that had wheat in it. I don't know. Well, anyway, so it's been nice talking to you, and we'll see you later. Bye. Where's the X? You can do this at home. Results may differ. And you saw it here last.